Askreddit, guys, what was the most obvious hint you dropped, and the girl just didn't get it? Do you want to have sex with me? Oh, you, slaps on shoulder, I imagine if we did it would be great. Quote. Anyway, see you tomorrow, big hug. I'm pretty sure that's just a long-winded, no. It's almost impossible to tell if they genuinely didn't get it or they did get it and just pretended they didn't cause they didn't want to discuss it with you. I once told a really close female friend that she was beautiful and she appeared to just take it as a compliment rather than a confession of attraction. This happened with my boyfriend. He kept complimenting me but I just thought he was being nice. I was completely oblivious to his interest in me until the day he asked me out. I was so stunned that it took me a minute to respond. Some of us are just extremely dense. Back in high school, there was this girl I was spending time with after school helping with math and teaching her how to dance, and we had an exchange. Hey, there's this girl I'm thinking of asking out, but I'm nervous, you should go for it. I believe in you, IDK. Do you think she'll say yes? I think so. The next day, I asked her out. She was absolutely stunned. Still dating 2 years after though. I can see why she'd be surprised, that's such a passive way to show your interest in someone. She probably assumed you were talking about someone else. Congrats on the relationship though. You'd think breaking into her house and laying in bed with her would give her a hint, but no, just a call to the cops. Typical females. I tried explaining how alpha I am to the girl I'm stalking trying to get with, and she fracking maced me. I was with my boyfriend in high school and he didn't have a car, so I always did all the driving. I dropped him off once and it was late on a school night, so I was waiting for him to get out of the car. He wasn't saying much, just staring at me and leaning in. I kept asking him what he was doing and saying, okay, time to go, and all that stuff. Later, I realized he wanted to kiss me. I'd like to say I'm pretty perceptive about what people want and what they're feeling, but when it comes to guys liking me, I literally have no idea. He mustn't have felt good about that. I'm not blaming you, edit, the missing word was dropped on me so the other way around, but before we got together my first GF asked me, what are we, one night, and I deadass thought she was referring to the Are We Human or Are We Dancer song from The Killers, so I said humans. Certified bruh moment. The girls always get my hints. They just choose to ignore them. Relatable. So this girl asked me out to see a movie, and I genuinely couldn't do it that day and proposed the next day, when it turned out she was busy, so we both convened to postpone until the next weekend. Said weekend comes, I make the invitation to go see a movie again, and she asks what's playing, I say this and that, but if none of them are your fancy, we could just download something, hint you could come over and we could spend some time privately, hint. Her reply, yeah, I don't really like any of those movies, better leave it for when they have better ones playing, like, TF. Maybe she didn't want to be alone with you at your house on a first date. Not exactly romantic. Oh, they got it, they just pretended they didn't equal smart. Same with guys sometimes. I love you, haha, you are so funny, that's why we're best friends, XD. DX. I said to a girl I liked that she was the cutest girl I knew and that I love her. She responded with, my condolences. This isn't exactly going to be a hint towards attraction, quite the opposite actually. For context, this girl was part of a group of people who bullied me relentlessly for a couple of years. She then decides that she has feelings and tries to pursue. I wasn't interested because for one I didn't find her attractive and two because of the aforementioned bullying, her personality was pretty toxic in general. After refusing to take no for an answer, I basically ignored all of her advances, and stonewalled her every time she tried to speak with me. She still didn't get it, so in typical teenage fashion I blocked her on Facebook. I honestly think she still thinks she has a shot even though it's been made more than crystal clear that it's not happening. She befriended a good friend of mine a while ago and he started feeding me information about a relationship she was in unprovoked. Pro tip, probably don't get your crush to hate you if you want to ask him out. I'm not sure if she was expecting me to fall into her arms after tormenting me for years, but that's definitely not the way to go about it and I would have honestly been even worse off if I said yes. Is this the plot from Hey Arnold? I'm expecting for someone to respond with, I sent her a dick pic. Pic dicka her sent I. Does intentionally letting her win in a game count? Went on a date to an arcade bar with a girl I was very interested in and expected to let her win a few, but she got competitive. What started out as casual flirting while playing beat-em-up side-scrollers turned into me completely destroying her in a game of graffiti on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I did not get a kiss when I dropped her off back at her place. She asked me what type of women I was into. I proceed to describe her. She says those are hard to find, and goes to class. That son of a bitch. I'm pretty sure all the girls get my hints, they just don't like me back. I even explicitly tell them I like them, but no reciprocation. Oh well. TBH same. We were playing life and he was the police officer. The rule is, if you spin at $10, he gets your speeding fines. I literally pulled open my button down and exposed my breasts and said, what can I do to get out of paying this? He said, ma'am, I am an officer of the law. Are you trying to prostitute yourself to me? A couple days of flirting and sexual innuendo later I literally had to spell out that I was trying to frack him. We've been together 6 years now. This thread is about guys dropping hints, not girls. Unless this is a gay story, in which case it still doesn't entirely fit. I dropped condom. Hopefully with your wad of hundreds as well. Can I suck your shit to a point? Sweats nervously. Why you stealing someone else's post with 60k upvotes? The whole askreddit front page is the same posts on a weekly repeat. I've literally been flirting and making sex jokes with this girl for a year. I haven't made a move purely on the basis that she isn't getting it at all. Some people don't enjoy sex jokes. That really isn't a good way to express your interest in a girl. If anything, you are suggesting that you view her as a buddy, a pal who you feel free to share a little locker room humor with. Try treating her with more respect. So in high school, I took a woodshop class and was one of just 2 or 3 girls in the whole class. Made friends with the guy behind me and he'd walk me back up the hill to my next class every day. On the last day of the semester, and the last day of woodshop, while walking with me back to class, he asked if I had any plans for that weekend. It was hunting season and I hadn't had a chance to go yet because of school, so I excitedly told him about my plans to go out to a hunting ranch to go hunting. He said that was cool and didn't say much after that. We said our goodbyes and I never saw him again. Was that a hint? Yes. I spread my moldy ass cheeks right in front of her while presenting in class and for some reason I got taken to the office and expelled. Sad face. The next time I knocked on her door the police took me and I got a restraining order. Frack them. I lived up until this point never seeing the words moldy ass cheeks together in a sentence before. I wish I could go back. Showed my PP. It was probably too small for her to see. I am currently sending this girl rude jokes as hints she's not getting it. Did you ever take into consideration that maybe that's not how you're gonna get her interested in you? Try a more sweeter approach, bud. I literally asked, would you like to go out with me and get a drink maybe? She just looked, smiled and said, oh, who are you going to ask out? We're still friends to this day. She has no idea that I was talking to her. Who seriously capitalizes every single word of a sentence these days? It's frickin' annoying and hard to read. Please subscribe. Multiple videos uploaded daily.